Welcome back. Now, with the military situation in Ukraine precarious for the tens of thousands of Ukrainians who've sought sanctuary here in the UK since the conflict began, there was today a measure of certainty as the government confirmed that they will be able to apply for an 18-month extension to their visas. But for some families, the question is now whether they will ever be able to go home. Joining me is Rohoman, a Ukrainian who came to the UK with her daughter on the Homes for Ukraine scheme. And it's great to have you with us on the programme. Thank you. So tell us your story, if you would. When did you decide the time was right to leave Ukraine, and where have you managed to settle here in the UK?
To be honest, I made a decision in 10 minutes, so it wasn't planned. I left Ukraine on the third day of the invasion. And in the beginning of my trip, I didn't know where I would live. And I couldn't imagine that uh, I will end up in the UK.
And here you are, and a family, am I right in saying, took you in?
I'm sorry?
You managed to find a family to stay with?
Yes, it's really kind people. So we still live with host family, and our relationship has grown into a friendship, and we really appreciate their support. They take care of us.
Well, that's great to hear. And you came with your daughter as well. Tell me about her and how she settled in and her life. Is she at school now?
Yeah, my daughter is a teenager. She's 16 years old, and it was not easy for her to settle because of uncertainty. My daughter, as many Ukrainian children, studies in both British and Ukrainian schools, and it's really a bit stressful. My daughter is preparing for her GCSEs this year.
So an important year for her. Were you concerned, were you worried that your visa may not have been extended?
Yeah, to be honest, it was pressing issue for all Ukrainians because um, it was not clear how long we can stay here. It affects our search of independent place. It's not easy to rent a place so far, but if our visa mm, expires soon, it even doesn't make sense to rent.
So, of course, a relief then that you can stay longer and your daughter can carry on with her studies. When you watch on the television news, when you read on the web what's happening in Ukraine, you must be very concerned that the war is going on and on.
It's getting worse and worse, I have to say. My mother stays in Ukraine, and when the alarm is announced at night, I stay awake. I watching the reports, how many missiles have been launched, where they're headed, and how long it will take them to get to Kyiv.
And your mother is still there, and that must be
My
a
mother's,
constant worry.
yes, she's still there, and my plan is to find a place and bring her here because it's really hard to imagine what it's like uh, to be under fire at night, early in the morning, and after that go to work, to school, continue living like a normal life. So, and people in Ukraine do it.
Of course. Well, I'm so pleased that you have been made welcome with your host family, that you've been made welcome in the UK, and we wish you and your daughter well. Thank you for speaking to us, Rohoman, a Ukrainian refugee. Thank you.
Thank you, Samuel.